thank you for taking your time to come out and help us celebrate cutting the ribbon in our grand opening of Parc de Familles. Before we get started, I'd like to call up Mayor Tim Kerner to lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance. This is the 4th of July weekend, and I want to make sure that we don't forget the men and women are out there each and every day in serving our country, and the men and women that actually made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom, because our freedom isn't free. I just wanted to make sure I try to say that, and it's very important. And when Tim is finished with the Pledge of Allegiance, we're going to have Miss Jane Harvey Brown sing the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
I'm sorry, and we'll have Miss Jane lead us in the national anthem.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the park. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed o'er the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Jane. That was beautiful. If that doesn't move you, I don't know what will. Once again, we just want to say thank you for taking your time to come help us celebrate this great evening. Before we go further, I want to make sure we recognize the elected officials that are here with us this evening. And if I miss anyone, would y'all please just let me know, because like I said, we're keeping this very informal. I'd like to introduce Councilwoman Cynthia Lee Shang, Councilman Paul Johnston, State Representative Pat Connick, a man that does not need any introduction in this area, Mayor Tim Kerner from Lafitte. We have our parish president, Mike Yenny, and Representative Rodney Lyons. I think you're here with us. As well as I want to introduce past Councilman Mr. Lloyd Jordina is with us tonight. This is a great day for Jefferson Parish. I said this earlier, but it's also a better day for the West Jefferson Parish. Today we're cutting the ribbon and celebrating the grand opening of our park here on the West Bank. Over 610 acres is part of this development, ladies and gentlemen. It goes from Estelle Playground, which is already existing, all the way to here to the south gate is what we call it, of the park. And in between you have the Sheriff's Department, and eventually that will be the main entrance for Parc de Familles. This park is designed and has a master plan that has been in place since 2000. The park was purchased in 2000, the property, and I have a gentleman here that was actually here on the council that is very proud because it was one of his decisions to help bring this to the West Bank. And I'd like to take the opportunity to let him come up and say a few words. And I told him try to keep it short. Mr. Lloyd Jordina.
Thank you, Ricky, and it's indeed a pleasure to be here today. It was a lot. I had a lot of fun reminiscing with some of the people that we all owe our thanks to for beginning, thinking about this place and getting it done. Debbie Kearns here, Ron Besson's here, Earl Tardiff is here, and I know I've missed some people that were heavily involved in this thing, but it's nice to see it come to fruition. Back in the late 1990s, UNO did a land use study for development of the West Bank. Part of that, and the parish is still going along with that land use plan. Part of the pardon me? Part of that, yeah, got it. Part of that recommendation that we should have about 400 and some acres of park for the future of the parish. Well, when I saw that recommendation, there was a 614-acre tract which this park is located on, and I thought it would be a good thing for the parish to acquire it. We had a lot of community meetings. My fellow council members, the parish president, we all got behind this thing, and we decided the best way to fund it would be with a public bond issue. The bond issue that provided the funds for this park and other recreational facilities was in July the 15th, 2000, and 80% of the people who turned out to vote voted favorably. And this has been a good track. The park is 614 acres. It caused out of that bond issue, which raised $10 million. 1.1 million was used to buy this park, and 2.4 million was used to develop the playground that's here. That was dedicated out of the original amount of money, and the rest of it was separated among the other playgrounds. It's really a legacy to the people of Jefferson Parish. I started it, I left in 2004 as a councilman representing the area. After me, at that time, Chris Roberts came in and took over the management. Then Ricky Templin came along and really got behind the effort, and here we are today, thanks to Ricky's efforts and all the citizens who live in this area. It's a tribute to Jefferson Parish. My wife Marion and I are here today. I'm happy to have been a part of it and originated. There was a young lady, I'm going to read one letter. Ricky said not to be too long. I probably exceeded my time by now, but I'd like you to read this letter. I think it sums it up, and it's dated November 11, 2002. The name Parc de Familles, or Parc de Familles, frames the purpose of our park's creation. The name tells the story. To achieve our mission, we needed to promote community involvement, which they did, actively seek input on planning, operation, and development of park, allow for orderly growth, acquisition, and development, blah, 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 blah. Signed Debbie Kern, who was the original chairman of the Citizens Advisory Board for the park. Everybody worked hard for this park. The future generations are going to enjoy the fruits of our labor, and it's in good hands right now. Councilman Ricky Templin, he's got his cooperation with me. I see some of his fellow council people here, Paul Johnson, Parish President Yenny, Cynthia Chang, and those, you need your council people, your fellow elected officials to work with you to achieve this. I was happy to be part of it. My family's proud of it, and I hope that you are proud of it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Lloyd. I appreciate the kind words and all your hard work in making this park come towards to the citizens of Jefferson Parish. You know, we're not only here today to do a grand opening of the event, but we're also here to cut a ribbon on a boardwalk of which y'all are going to be part of here when we cut the ribbon that goes 2,000 feet within the marsh and celebrates a southern way of life here. And it gets to show off to people our culture a little bit in our backyard and our community right here in the South. And to be able to make this park come forward, it takes cooperation, It takes people working together, and without our state agencies, our local agencies, and our administration working together, this wouldn't happen. And I'm very proud to say we have one of our state representatives here today with us that was a very large part of funding this park and the future of the park through our capital outlay. I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce to you and have him come up just to say a few words, is State Representative Pat Conning.
Thank you, Ricky. Great job. Thank you, the council, both past and present. And thank you, Mr. President, for being here. This shows you what a few good thinking, hardworking people can put together and make this place something special for the West Bank. I'm going to say a few words, and basically the message I want to send out is to please tell your families, tell your friends to come visit this park, come enjoy this park, and spread the word. You guys are the ones responsible for paying for it. You did a great job, and we're going to do our best to keep it going and make it grow. So thank you very much for being here, and again, thanks for these officials for their work and support.
Thank you, Pat. We really appreciate all the support you give to Jefferson Parish as a whole in the park. You know, one of the other things that we're here to highlight, this is just one aspect. The park is going to continue to grow. There is a master plan for the park, and the Estelle Playground was part of it. The Sheriff's Department in the middle was part of it. This boardwalk is part of it, but it's able to change and evolve over time with what's happening within our environment and our backyard. We're getting ready to break ground on construction on a great project here, and it's going to be an 18-course disc golf course. Yes, and it's going to be a professional grade where we can bring competitions here in our backyard to do the disc golf, but it also can afford just me and my son, or you and your son, to go spend and buy a $10 disc and frisbee and come out here and enjoy the park and enjoy 18 holes of disc golf and enjoy yourself. And that's what we're most proud of, is where our community can come out for very little investment and you know, have a great time in their backyard. You know, I said earlier about how we get things done, it's through working together. I want to take the opportunity to introduce to you, you know, we have the Parc de Familles Patrons Board, which we all have appointees to, and I'd like to take the opportunity at this time to introduce Mr. Mark McLean, the chairman of the board. Come on, Mark.
Thank you, Councilman Templet. I want the board members to come up here with me. I have the privilege and honor to not only serve on the board, but to actually be the chairperson of the board. And I just want to introduce you to a group of very dedicated individuals. Not all the board members are here with us this evening, but these are a group of people that have a real vision for this park, that have been very dedicated. Some of them, you can raise your hands if you've been on the board since the beginning. So we've got some new members, some members that have been here from the beginning and have a real vision for the park. Let me just introduce them to you very quickly. Teddy Marshall is our secretary of the board. Mr. O.H. Guidry is not here. Mr. George Abear. Debbie Kern. Debbie is the author of the letter that was written just a few minutes ago. Patricia Randazzo, Mr. Earl Tardif, Mr. Ray Uzzi. So it's a great group, and we are dedicated. We have a vision for the future, and we're really excited to see the park continue to move forward. We thank too many people to thank, but at the state level, at the parish level, at the local level, and Audubon Nature Institute, their representative is here, Ms. Lori Conkerton. There are just so many people that we continue to work with and that are supporting us in moving the vision of this park forward. Please plan to come and play in the disc golf course. It'll be starting right back here in just a few months. The 18th hole, 17th to 18th hole will be over here on the side. It'll be a beautiful place to explore. So thank you for being here. The last comment I guess I would make is the best is yet to come, right? The best is yet to come. So thank you. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Mark. And look, these individuals that just were up here, they're the one that meet every month to actually move this park forward and give up their time to make sure we have a great facility for the future for our children and grandchildren, hopefully, to play out here. You know, I said it takes a group of people to make this happen in relationships. You know, one of the things that I'm excited that we're bringing out here for the first time to West Jefferson and to this park and the surrounding parks right around us here is that we're going to do the official opening for this park will be 4th of July. That'll be Tuesday. So that actually will be a date that y'all all remember every year that this park opened on 4th of July. And if we want to do festivities, it'd be the perfect time every year to try to create some type of event. So we're looking forward to that. But the exciting part is that we will be hiring, I think, and Mr. President, I'm not sure, we have park rangers too that will be out here protecting the park and the safety of the park, but also protecting right on the corner. We have Gleason Park and we have Rosethorn Park, and these park rangers will patrol all the parks and make them a safer environment for all of us and make sure things are handled properly and protected within the event. And I'd like to say I want to bring up the man that helped make that happen and work closely with my office, our parish president, Mr. Mike Yenning.
First, let me say thank you, Councilman, for inviting us all here today for this great festivity and the opening of this beautiful park. You know, Parc des Familles is truly one of the crown jewels of Jefferson Parish, no questions, and its future has no end in sight. We can do so much on a 610-acre plot of land where only about a portion of that is even developed at this point. You know, residents have been eager to take advantage of this park, and I would like to convey my sincere gratitude to the leadership of this council and previous councils. So I'm glad Councilman Lloyd Jardine is here because they did so much under their time to make this start and get everything moving for this project. And of course, we want to thank all the architects and all the landscapers that came out to do what they had to do to make this the beautiful park that it is. When I became parish president, we promised an administration that would create spaces for families to enjoy the outdoors and see what Jefferson Parish has to offer. This 610 acres will by far set the standard of parks in our region. So I first want to thank the Parks and Recreation Department. Let's give our Parks and Recreation Department a round of applause for all of the hard work they do throughout all of Jefferson Parish, but especially here at Parc des Familles. They have been instrumental in helping us develop this park, and their input and guidance is invaluable to what we couldn't have done without them. And of course, you know, my administration will continue to enhance recreation. I thank the council for putting the recreation millage back out to get it renewed, and we have a funding source to be able to maintain our parks. But we need to get creative and figure out what we can do for the future of our parks in Jefferson Parish and the future development here at Parc des Familles. So thank you for coming out, and I hope Councilman Templet does what he says and makes this an annual event so that we can spread the word and talk about all the good we have throughout all of Jefferson Parish, but especially right here at Parc des Familles. Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I do want to state, too, again, how proud we are to be able to say that the Audubon Institute is part of this park. They helped design it. The boardwalk we're getting ready to cut the ribbon on, they were at the table when it was designed years ago, and they're going to continue to be part of our design and future of our park. They were out here just 2 weeks ago walking the boardwalk, and they were impressed with what we had to offer here. So I'm excited to be able to be having them part of us. I just want to recognize real fast the food vendors we have out here tonight, and the food is free. So when y'all want to walk over there and get a bite to eat, we wanted to make sure we had some local flavor here. We have Bolio Seafood Restaurant down in Lower Lafitte. We have Jan's Restaurant down from Lower Lafitte. We have Booties over here as well from Lower Lafitte, and we have Parc des Familles. We have des Familles Restaurant just right up the road here. So y'all all go enjoy the local food and see what they have to offer right here in your own backyard. The president said thank you, and before we go cut the ribbon, I just want to make sure we say thank you to the West Jeff EMS and Fire Department for being here tonight, just for safety and showing our support. I want to make sure we say thank you to Park. Yeah, let's give them a round of applause. I want to make sure we recognize the Park and Recreation and Mr. CJ Gibson and Mr. Leo. Leo, you around? Thank you so much for all y'all done, and your crew did a great job. And we want to make sure all Short Parkways thanks for all the hard work is them they did as well. So at this time, we know y'all want to come here and listen to some good music and not listen to us speak all evening. So we're going to take I think we're going to get escorted by the brass band over to the ribbon cutting. So let's go have some fun, y'all. And y'all enjoy the rest of the evening.